The main goal of that project has been addressing the main drivers of conflict and instability, regular migration, and displacement in the cross-border areas of the Horn of Africa, particularly those cross-border areas, through improved cross-border cooperation and coordination. The objectives are there, and the outputs you can later on see. We have been implementing this project with multiple partners. One of that, UNDP is the one, and then UNEP Environment, specialized in the water management of cross-border areas, and then, of course, the national and local governments, and the UNDP, Regional Service Center for Africa. The first lesson learned in that project is cross-border dialogues were effective in creating awareness about existing MOUs, protocols, strategies, and agreements which have been made between member countries, particularly, as you remember that the northern parts of Kenya and the southern part of Ethiopia, that bordering those three clusters. So the agreement has been made between Ethiopia and Kenya, and between Ethiopia and Somalia, as well as Kenya. So there are a lot of agreements have been made in that area, bringing together the cross-border authorities, communities, to jointly identify the gap of that agreement and to implement accordingly. So we have made a lot of dialogues with communities. Those communities understood what the agreement's all about, okay? Then we tried to translate those agreements, protocols, policies to the local language and disseminated them through broadcast. So we tried to translate to local language Buran, Nangatum, Burji, Swahili, Amharic, and then in Ethiopian part, we translated them to another 9 languages. You know, this is very important for the community at the lower level, that they can understood what kind of agreements have been made between two governments at high level. So for implementation purpose, that might not be difficult when we are entering to the community. They will have already understanding of that issue, so you can easily enter to the communities that they understood why you are there. This is a very important lesson we have learned from our project. The second one is in a multi-stakeholder and multi-geographic project arrangement, the extent of cooperation arrangement must be accompanied by formal and deliberate coordination mechanisms that implemented by all involved stakeholders are fully supported by management. This is very important. Well, SECCCI has 3 layers. We have been working with UNDP, UNEP, and IGAD, or direct implementers of the project, with 5 EU-supported projects like Boresha has been presented earlier. So, but there should have to be formal agreement between those projects, unless you cannot coordinate them or cooperate with them. So the cooperation is actually an interest of individuals. By law is very important. The other is the inclusion of knowledge management component in the project, enable SECCCI primary and secondary stakeholders to share preserve their knowledge assets. What we made, we created a platform directly funded by the project, the online knowledge management platform. You can link with the website, and you can get the product of the project that is free, and you can use this by citing for other projects as well. This site was designed to disseminate good practices and lesson learned on cross-border cooperation and resilient intervention in the Horn of Africa. As a strategy of sustainability, the portal was managed by IGAD as part of its IGAD Drought Disaster Resilience Sustainability Initiative, IDRISI. So, you know, we cannot create it and then diminish that portal, but it will exist for sustainability issue. It's under IGAD Secretariat. You can log in and then you can get the information from that. This is the front page of the website on which you can get it. The other one is lesson 4. When co-implementing cross-border development projects, the role and responsibility of various stakeholders, modalities for funding, monitoring, and reporting should be articulated explicitly as much as possible. SOPs, standard operational procedures, guidelines, templates, and others should be agreed and adapted during the inception phase, and training undertaken to ensure compliance and smooth operation. This should have to be understood well before we are embarking to implement the project activity. The number 4 is the number 5, project weakness needs to be addressed during the inception period. Ensure the level of efficiency and effectiveness is not negatively affected. Firstly, some activities are not allocated sufficient budget, while other critical ones such as coordination were originally not budgeted. In our project, we faced such kind of challenge that the mandate has been given for coordination and cooperation, then it was not budgeted. It's meaningless at the end of the day to say that we are cooperating and coordinating or something. Secondly, there has to be agreed action between those EUTF projects like Boresha, Omo Delta, Pact, on which we have been working together with them. There should have to be MOU between two or 3 projects. That is a very important issue on which we are making, implementing or coordinating other projects together. But the other lesson is cross-border projects are implemented in areas that are highly vulnerable to shocks. Therefore, it is imperative that they build in the flexibility to adapt changed circumstances. A lot of things can be happen in the cross-border areas, like the desert locust invasion, the COVID, the conflict, peace, instability because of the Al-Shabaab in those areas. So the project flexibility should have to be in that way, should have to be arranged in that way. So those things should have to be considered. The final lesson is the SECCCI project develop an exit strategy with phased activities that can form the basis for starting new focus cross-border flagship project. All products of the projects have been uploaded in the website. You can download those products. You can use for other cross-border initiatives in the future. So we have those documents, and these are the product of the project. studies, training manuals in livestock and peace building and conflict sensitivity and rangeland. A lot of products there. So you can use those hard copies or soft copies in the future. And I thank you for your attention. Thank you very much.